I'm Amy Guy. I study web technology at the University of Lincoln. When I was looking for a university, I looked at lots of different computing courses around the country because computing was like my hobby at the time. I'd studied completely unrelated A-levels, and a lot of my friends expected me to go and study one of my A-levels, like chemistry. And when I found Lincoln, it was the only course that really offered the exact sort of match of subjects I could study under the internet computing banner. Because a lot of them were really web design, artsy courses, and a lot of them were really mathsy. But the one at Lincoln had sort of a 50-50 mix of the two. So, and then after going to loads of open days, talking to the staff who were really friendly, and looking around the city, and it's such a beautiful city as well. And the campus is really close and small. And yeah, there wasn't really a doubt in my mind that I wanted to go to Lincoln in the end. When I think about my first year at university, I can track back pivotal moments when I agreed to something or met someone and followed them somewhere. For example, a lot of my friends who are really close friends now, I met by sort of last minute decisions, going to an event last minute or turning up somewhere on my own, and particularly in the first week, in the Freshers' Week at university, that happened a lot. I went to the Societies Fair and I actually got lost in the big room with all the societies and ended up upstairs in a corner, and someone asked me if I was studying technology subject, and I was, and she was heading up the Women in Technology Society at the university, so I went along to their first meeting, met a couple of people through them, and through that I've been to conferences, I've presented posters, and ultimately got an internship at Google through that sequence of events. I definitely say don't expect opportunities just to fall in your lap. You have to actually look for them. A lot of universities offer help with work placements and stuff, but you will only really find the things that are going to really affect you if you go out there and look for them yourself. I advise joining societies, starting societies is always good fun. It's a good way to make new friends. Get involved with the Students' Union. Like, I don't know many people who care about the Students' Union, but they offer these jobs and volunteering, and just do things you haven't done before. That's what university is all about. So Student as Producer is about changing the conception of kind of higher education and teaching and learning in general. It's not about being taught and memorising things just so you get this bit of paper at the end, because if that's all you do, then the degree doesn't mean anything. A Student as Producer is more about making your degree your own, and students and researchers at the university are collaborating together. There's been a number of grants for student academic partnerships to do research projects, and also for student academic partnerships to develop the curriculum itself and change what's actually going to be taught and the methods that are used to teach it. And it's really exciting because it's less of this student apathy and more of students being engaged and directing their own learning and making their degree actually meaningful, and not just another bit of paper and the massive bits of paper that everyone has now. Enterprise at Lincoln is a business incubation service thing under the umbrella of the university, but they run it, I think, separately from the university. But it's a set of offices in this nice modern looking building where grads or current students can go and set up a company. They pay really cheap rent and they get business advice and all sorts of things included. They've all been set up by local recent graduates, or a couple of them are by current students. And me and my two film-making friends just decided we wanted an office space to work in instead of our bedrooms, so they made their films, threw around their film ideas, planned it all in the office and dealt with their business and stuff in the office, and I'm on web development, which has turned into a massive project now. Halfway through my first year, I discovered someone on Facebook raising money for India, and I decided that instead of donating some money, I'd go with her to India. So I just went along and met her. I didn't know she was sort of a friend of a friend, and then I just signed up. I went to India in summer 2008 on a charity 2.5 weeks in Bihar, which is the poorest region in India, doing charity work. That was kind of a spontaneous decision. Nobody really believed I was going until I went, and that was life-changing. At the end of my second year, I realised that there had been a distinct lack of computing society at the university, so I made one. And that's thrived this year, so I've been president of it throughout my third year. I've had quite a good team of other committee members to help out, and we've organised events. We've got loads of first years involved, which is great because I like enthusiastic students, and we've weeded them out, and now we can hopefully find opportunities for them. So the Computing Society has been a really positive experience so far. Through a variety of random coincidences, I met a load of really enthusiastic filmmakers in my first year. So I've ended up living with some of them, and first and second year I would trail around on film shoots. I would end up on boom mic, which is heavy and big, and I'm not very big, so that's always good fun. I'd generally be a runner, and it was only sort of student films, but the guys I was working with were really good at what they did. So I learned a lot about people and kind of directing and controlling like people on a set, and yeah, it's been crazy good fun really.